सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। ओम श्री हयग्रीवाय नमः। ओम श्री वल्लभा समेत श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। We were looking at the topic प्रत्यक्षस्य भेद विषयत्व निराकरणम. So one of the things which the Dvaitins and Vishishta Dvaitins, actually Vishishta Advaita itself is an oxymoron. They are also Dvaitins only, really speaking, because as soon as you talk about Visheshana and Vishishta, you are a Dvaitin. So all Dvaitins actually say that the Bheda or division is revealed by perception, pratyaksha. But we actually deny that. Advaitins don't accept that the Bheda is revealed by pratyaksha. So here, this particular topic is taken up, and that pratyaksha reveals the reality of Bheda or division. That is negated here. Nirakaranam is being done. अथ प्रत्यक्षस्य सन्मात्र विषयत्वात् न भेद विषयत्वं भेदश्च दुर्निरूपः इति अद्वैतिनः. So the Advaitins, what do they say? Pratyaksha is only revealing the Sat Vastu, okay, Sanmatram, existence alone. Okay. Even the sense perception is revealing only existence alone and not any difference or any division. And even, in fact, any division or difference cannot be established conclusively. That is what is called Durnirupaha. It cannot be established conclusively. This is what Advaitins are saying. Therefore, whatever difference and division which appears, okay, we have to say the appearance of division and separateness, etc., we do not deny. Things appear to be different. Things appear to be separate from each other. It appears that different things are there, divided, but all these things are only appearances. Okay, appearance does not mean that it is real. That is what is the main argument of the Advaitin. So you cannot establish conclusively that there is difference or division or separateness. Okay, then what do the others say? Jatyadi vishishtasya eva vastunaha pratyaksha vishayatvahat जात्यादेः एव प्रतियोगी अपेक्षया वस्तुनः स्वस्य च भेदव्यवहार हेतुत्वम् इति रामानुजः. So any vastu or entity has to have visheshanas, correct, and also have qualities and characteristics. You can say, like jati means it belongs to a certain genus or a category, and it has a name, it has a form, it has action, kriya, etc. So jati, guna, kriya, all these things are characterizing any entity. So any entity is characterized by all these things, and these things are these jati, guna, kriya, vishaya, sambandha, etc. only are revealed by the pratyaksha. So pratyaksha vishayatvat jatyadehe. So jati, etc. are revealed by the pratyaksha pramana, and also the vastu with reference to pratiyogi means counter positive or some adjunct and all they say in English. Basically with reference to something, one entity with reference to another entity. That another entity is called a pratiyogi. So with reference to that another entity, there is a bheda, there is a separateness, there is a division. So when you take two entities, between them, there is a difference. They are separate, there is a division, etc. So the Bheda Vyavahara, so there is a transaction, correct? If I ask you, bring a pot, you bring only a pot. You do not bring me a cloth, correct? There is a Bheda between Gata and Pata. And you do Vyavahara also based on that. I can even tell you, bring me only a pot. Don't bring the cloth. Like this, Bheda Vyavahara is there. And so the Pratyaksha itself, by perceiving that only you can do the Vyavahara, correct? So that perception, the Jatyadi perception and being characterized by Jati, etc. only, this Bheda Vyavahara is there and it becomes the Hetu for that. Therefore, all these things are real. They are established by the Pratyaksha Pramana itself. This is what Ramanuja says. Iti Ramanujaha. Okay, Atra Vicharyate. Here there is a Vichara. What is the Vichara? Pratibhasamanam sarvamapi vastu asti ityeva pratibhasate natu nasti iti. So first we make a pratignya or a statement generally. What is that? We say that any entity which you perceive, which you cognize, all of them are cognized as is only, correct? Asti, asti, ityeva, bhati. So there is a is consciousness, we have to say. If you cognize part, there is part consciousness, correct? If you cognize a cloth, there is cloth consciousness, or cloth consciousness is, part consciousness is, computer consciousness is, like that. This consciousness is the invariable, we say. Okay, so there is uh, different things, and but all of them are always cognized along with consciousness is. Consciousness is, consciousness is. That is the invariable in each and every cognition. So everything is cognized as is only asti ityeva pratibhasate, and not as is not, etc. It is not there. Therefore, what do we say? Tataha sataha eva vastunaha bhanam natu asataha iti siddhantaha. So any entity is revealed as existing, or as existence itself. That's what we are saying. In fact, existence alone is revealed by Pratyaksha. That is the Siddhanta. It's a very beautiful thing. We'll establish that, in fact. That's why using existence as an adjective itself is a delusion, really speaking. Because people say existent part, existent cloth, etc., as though existence is an adjective. Really speaking, existence is not a quality or an adjective of a thing. Existence is the thing. In fact, is the only thing, in fact. Sadeva Saumya idam agre asit ekameva advitiyam. Sat alone is the noun. Okay. So you have to say party existence, clothy existence, like this one. You can say if you want to be correct linguistically also. But language itself is the greatest deluder. Understand that. So everything is cognized as is, and therefore there is no asat or anything. Nobody cognizes any asat. Natu asataha bhanam. Asat here we have to take it as atyanta asat. Then that mithya will come. We'll also see that. So non-existence is not cognized. It is siddhantaha. Okay. Now why can't we say that non-existence is also cognized? That is what is asked now. Asataha api bhana abhyubhagame shashashringam api asti iti uh, iti mayat. Okay. I think iti asti iti, it is coming, it is some printing mistake, I think. Okay, it will become what? If you say that why can't non-existence also be cognized, means then you will be cognizing things like Vandhya Putra or whatever, the hairs of the aunt, see, horns of the hare and the barren woman's child, etc. Basically, these are all only uh, unholy compounds. Nobody cognizes it, we say. So we call it even either asat or atyanta asat, we say. That which is completely non-existent, totally non-existent, that which never is available for cognition or it never appears. So we cannot say that non-existence can be cognized. But then what? Purva Bakshi is now saying, Shukti, Shukti Rajatam Asadeva Bhati iti Vachyam na Vachyam. So Shukti Rajatam, the silver which is appearing on a shell, that is not existent. It is non-existence, but it it is cognized. It appears. It shines. Means what do we say? That is what is called pratibhasikam. So while appearing, it exists. Correct? It shines when you cognize it. So bhana samaye tasyapi satvat. We accept pratibhasika satvam. Okay. While it is shining, it is cognized. It is there. It is also cognized as being there only. Correct. See, even the snake which you see on a rope or a silver you see on a shell is cognized as silver is, snake is only. Correct. That also is cognized as sat only. And in fact, that sat is coming from the adhisthana, we say. Correct. The rope sattvam is cognized as the sattvam of the snake. Similarly, the shell sattvam, which in fact finally belongs to Brahman alone. All this sattvam, the existence itself is Brahman. Okay. So bhana samaye tasyapi sattvat, we say. So that is why there another word is used for that. It is called mithya. So mithya and asat or atyanta asat are similar or same with reference to non-existence. But atyanta asat is never available for cognition. Mithya is cognized. That is the only difference. But even while you are cognizing, it is really not there, we say. Okay. All three periods of time, mithya also is not there. But that knowledge is there only after the 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 cognition of the adhisthana. But while you are cognizing the mithya vastu, you think it is there only, correct? It is also cognized as sateva. Okay. Further what? Nacha abhavaha asanneva bhati iti vachyam. But what about abhava? Abhava is non-existence, but it is cognized. Like this, Nayayikas and all they say. Then what do we say? Kevalasya bhavasya bhana bhava abhava. Abhava by itself can never be cognized. Understand that. That is why again, whenever you talk about an abhava, you have to talk about a pratiyogi and a anuyogi. So pratiyogi with reference to the abhava is called counterpositive this. Okay, because abhava is negative or non-existence. But abhava of what? Means that has to be some existing entity only, correct? Abhava means without the pratiyogi there cannot be any abhava. You have to always talk about a pratiyogi or counterpositive, it is called in English. Okay. And again, that counterpositive also, where it is not there, you have to say. Locus also you have to talk about. There has to be a locus. The locus is called aniyogi. So part is not there on the table, if you say. Table becomes the anuyogi. Part itself is the pratiyogi. So anuyogi is the locus or the substratum or subject, and they use all these words in English. Okay. And the pratiyogi is called adjunct, counterpositive, all these things. So this Pratiyogi and Anuyogi, you have to say. By itself, abhava cannot be cognized. And in fact, what do we really say is, the Nayayikas and all, they claim that abhava itself is cognized by pratyaksha. But pratyaksha means, they say, indriya artha sannikarsha janyam jnanam. How can indriya have sannikarsha with abhava? It can have sannikarsha or contact only with something which exists, correct? It cannot have a contact with a non-existing thing. So I don't know exactly what argument they give, the Nayayikas. So the Vedantin, even the Purva Mimamsakas themselves, that's why they propose, and we also accept, another pramana called Anupalabdhi. So Pratyaksha only reveals the Anuyogi, really, correct? Pratyaksha reveals the table. In your mind, you have to bring the Pratyogi, which is the pot, and then say, pot, if it was there on the table, it should have been cognized, but since it is not being cognized now, therefore it is not there, like this much. But all these things happen just like that. It's not that you think through all these things, but that is the process. Okay. So that is Anupalabdhi. We have to call it as another pramana, because Pratyaksha cannot reveal any asat. Pratyaksha can reveal only sadvastu. So kevalasya abhavasya bhana abhava. Okay. But then they are saying, well, let it be kevalasya abhava, need not be cognized, but pratiyogi abhava can be cognized. No? So he is saying pratiyogika abhavaha bhati, like that the Purva Pakshi says. Okay, then what do we say? Na vachyam, even that you cannot say. Okay, nacha pratiyogika abhavaha bhati iti vachyam. Why? Tatra pratiyoginaha abhanam eva natu sapratiyogika abhavasya bhanam. See, what we are saying is, the Pratyogi is not cognized. That's all you can say. You cannot say the Pratyogi Abhava is cognized. See, these are all again, you are you are using the language to complicate things. What is not cognized, you are saying you are cognizing the non-existence. No, we don't say that. You are not cognizing the Pratyogi. Fine. Pratyoginaha abhanam. But it is not that you are cognizing the part non-existence. Okay, part is not cognized, we will give it to you. Okay, that is fine. So, natu sapratiyogika abhavasya bhanam. You can't use double negative and say that you are cognizing that. Okay, that is the point here. Okay, then what? Yadva, or we have to say what? Why talk about all these things? You are really cognizing only the adhisthana, correct? Adhikarana alone you are cognizing. That's what I told you. Pratyaksha can only cognize the anuyogi. This pratyogi business and all is happening separately. So, yadva sapratyogika bhava adhikaranasya eva bhanam iti. So, that is the Siddhanta is what? You do not cognize the part, or you have to say you are only cognizing the table, the adhikarana alone. Okay. Wherever you are proposing the pratyogika abhava, that where, that locus, that adhikarana, that alone is shining, really speaking. Everything else is separate. Okay. That is not revealed by pratyaksha. That's why we even propose another pramana, like I said, Anupalabdhi. Okay. So that being the case, what? And what is that? What is that adhikarana means? Again, even if you analyze that adhikarana also is sat only, correct? So, tacha sadvastu brahmaiva, and in fact, finally, if you keep on analyzing what is this table, means you will end up only in Brahman. That we have already done this exercise even in the previous section, correct? So, sadeva somya iti shruteha, and Shruti also says, sadeva somya idam agre asit ekameva dvitiyam. That sat vastu alone is satyam, sadeva satyam, etc. In fact, that's what he is saying now. Satyasya eva sattva. Okay. Satyam jnanam anantam brahmeti shrutescha. Okay, so Chandogya also says Sadeva Satyam, and also what? Taitriya also is saying Satyam Jnanam Anantam. So when we talk about Satyam, also it is the same existence alone is the reality. Okay, the non-existence cannot be reality, correct? That which exists and that which is existence itself, in fact, is the reality. That is Satyam. Everything else is Anritam only. Okay. Now what the Purva Pakshi is saying? Jagadapi Satyatvat Sadeva iti na Vachyam we say. Okay, so Nacha Jagadapi Satyatvat Sadeva iti Vachyam. So don't say that Jagat also is Satya. Therefore, that is also cognized as Sat. You can't say that. Why? Shruti is very clear. Tat Satyam Ataha Anyadartam iti. So anything other than this Brahman, everything is Artha. Artha means Anrita only, really speaking. False, doesn't really exist. It's all Mithya. So this is the Bredarnika Shruti. So Tat Satyam, that Tat is really here Brahman only. Brahman alone is Satyam. Everything else is Artha. So Shruti is very clear. Neha Nanasti Kinchana, etc. We can quote a lot of Shruti if required. Okay. So what? Then what? Okay. Here, Anityatvam eva Artatvam. Na to Asyat. Okay. Nacha it is there. I think it should be Nacha only. That again some printing mistake is there. So nacha anityatvam eva artatvam natu asatyatvam iti vachyam. So don't say that anityatva is only artatvam, therefore it is not asatyam. Satyam can be anitya also. This is their argument, let us say. Means we don't accept that. In fact, Bhashyakara defined satyam in the Taitriya Bhashya, correct? Yad rupena yan nishchitam bhavati tad rupam tad na vyabhicharati. Correct? Iti satyam. So satya means it cannot change its rupa and all that. Once you have ascertained it, it has to be the same always. Anything which is changing, which is anitya, is asatya only. It is all anrita. So what we say is what? Satyatvasya eva nityatva. Satya alone can be nitya. Anitya cannot be satya. Therefore what? Sataha anityatva yoga. And sat can never be anitya. And anitya can never be satya. So sataha anityatva yogat, nityatva yogat asataha. So asataha, the asat can never be nitya, sat can never be anitya. That is the principle. Okay. And in fact, in the Gita also it is said, and he will also quote that, I think. So anityatvam hi abhava pratiyogitvam sammatam. Okay. And also uh, a transient entity or a whatever, an entity which is not permanent, that alone also is fit to be the counter positive of non-existence or abhava. Okay. So abhava pratyogitvam also can only be there for a anitya vastu, an entity which is transient. Only transient entities can have absence. This is agreed by everybody. Okay. So it is sammata, means it is agreed. It is agreeable. And abhava pratyoginaha hi ghatadayaha anityaha. And all the entities like Ghatapata, etc., in the objective world, any object for that matter, is all transient. They are all fit to be the counter positive of non-existence. Therefore, what? Sad vastunaha cha abhava pratiyogitvam ayuktam. But Sat can never become the abhava pratiyog. Understand that. Sat is all, even abhava is like you are. That is why Bhashyakara says in the Ghata Bhashya, any qualification you add to the abhava, then it is also a bhava only, he says, really. Okay. Because abhava is, you have to say. Then you ask where. Means you have to say somewhere, correct? That is basically any qualified abhava also is really bhava only. It will end up as bhava because you have to say the part abhava is there in the table, correct? So it is also is only really. So that is why, in fact, the Nayayikas themselves accept Anyonya Bhava is Bhava. So Bhashyakara extends and says even the other types of Abhava which the Nayayikas talk about, they are also Bhava only. In fact, that is the beauty. The Advaitins don't accept any Abhava, really speaking. Because only Brahman alone is there for us and it is Satya. That is why we are really the Satkaryavadi and all we say. Not only Satkaryavadi, we are Sat Brahmavadi. The Dvaitins accuse the Advaitin as Mayavadi, really speaking. In fact, we have no Tatparya in Maya. We are Brahmavadi, Sat Brahmavadi. In fact, we are the ultimate, uh, what we say is ultimate people who say that existence alone is there. We don't accept any non-existence at all. The Nayayika, the Vaisheshika particularly, is called Ardha Vainashika. He is half Buddhist. Why? Because he says the Karya is not there before it is produced. Okay. Buddhist does not accept both Karya and Karana. Okay. So they are all the ones who are talking about non-existence and all that. And Dvaitins go along with the Nyaya Vaisheshika people in all these things. They are the ones who talk about non-existence. We accept no non-existence. Understand that. Okay. So Sat Brahma alone, each and every cognition reveals only Sat for us. The Sat Brahma. Pratibodha Viditam Matam. And if you know that, then you have Amritatvam hi vindate. There is no doubt about that. So, anyway, so what we are saying here is anything other than the Satya Vastu is all Mithya. Okay. And Sadvastu can never become Abhava Pratyogi. And Gita also is saying that what Nasato Vidyate Bhavaha, Nabhavo Vidyate Sataha iti Gita Vachana. So, Sadvastu Nahacha Abhava Pratyogitvam Ayuktam. So Sat can never be the counter positive of non-existence. And that is what Gita is also saying. In fact, if you simply translate this Gita, half of the Gita verse, it looks crazy, correct? It says non-existence cannot have existence. Existence cannot have non-existence. The one who knows these two things, Ubhayorapi Drishtvantaha Tvanayos Tattvadarshibhihi, is the one, he is the Tattvadarshibhi, he knows the reality. He is Jnani. So, that is the beauty. And the Bhashya of this, you all have to go and read. Very beautiful Bhashya. In fact, this whole section is based on the Bhashya of this 216 only in Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So here, further what he is also quoting the Dhatu Pata. He says, Bhu Sattayam Asabhuvi iti Panini Anushasanat Sattvasya Bhava Rupatvena Sataha Bhava Yogacha. So even Panini also in the Dhatu Pata, the Bhu Sattayam is the first Dhatu. In the Dhatu Pata, if you take, in fact, during our Gurukula Vasa, we started memorizing the Dhatu Pata and all that. In fact, now I have forgotten, you can say, other than whatever I am reading in Vedanta, I don't remember anything. But if you are very young, it is better even you people. The traditional learning is that they memorize the entire Amara Kosha and Dhatu Pata, etc. So that way, that way their level of language is at a different level. Those who can do that when they are young. Okay. So here, this bhu also comes in the meaning of sat, and asa as dhatu also comes in the meaning of bhu only. They are interchangeable. They are synonymous only, and therefore bhavati, asti, etc. They are all the same. So sat, this existence, and it can have nothing to do with non-existence, or it can never become non-existent. Whatever is existent or whatever is existence can never become non-existence. Abhava yoga. Therefore, what in this manner, evam brahmanaha eva sadvastutve sat jagaditi jagataha sattva pratitihi pratitihi tu satta tadatmya adhyasa prayukta eva. So, what do we say in this manner? Brahman alone is existence. Okay, the existence is nothing but Brahman's existence, but we say world is also. So, the existence of the world is nothing but the Sat Tadatmya, we say, or Brahma Tadatmya, means it is basically it is really Brahman's existence, but that is being uh, cognized as the existence of the world. And this Tadatmya means this oneness only. It is whatever is Brahman's is cognized as worlds. So world's existence becomes one with Brahman's existence. That is the Tadatmya. And how do you cognize that, or why do you cognize? Means it is adhyasa, we have to say. You can't say anything else, correct? So adhyasa prayuktaha eva, it is all due to superimposition. It is aropa. Therefore, what? Yatha mrit ghata iti samanadikaranya pratitihi mrit tadatmya prayuktaha eva ghatasya. So this is true even with the in the case of mrit ghata, correct? That is why Shruti is also using that as a as an analogy to teach you mritika ityeva satyam. So when you say clay pot, basically the clay's existence alone is the pot's existence. So there is oneness between the pot's existence and the clay's existence. Okay. So and they have samanadikaranya, means what is there is only one locus, there is only one entity which exists really, which is clay. But we say that pot also exists. So pot's existence, clay's existence, all these things are only one entity, one place, one locus. And so that cognition of clay's existence and pot's existence, etc., it is all because of the tadatmya prayuktaha, means because you cognize the one as same as the other. Okay. Or this the self of one is there in the other, basically. So that is how this all these things work. The Karya Karana Prakriya itself is introduced only to show that this Karya has Karana Tadatmya, and that Tadatmya is there due to Adhyasa. Therefore, Karya becomes Mithya, and that Aropita Karya is Apavada is done, and that's how we reveal the Vastu. Okay. So this Adhyaropo Apavadabhyam Nishprapancham Prapanchate. And Adhyaropa Apavada is the basic principle we use in revealing Brahman. That is the Sampradaya. Okay. So here, Nacha Mrit Karyatvat Ghatasya Mrit Tadatmyam Astu Nama Katam Jagataha Brahma Tadatyam iti Vachyam. Okay. So, Purvapakshi says Mrit Karyatvat Ghatasya Mrit Tadatmyam Astu Nama. So, let it be. We know that clay pot means clay is the Karana. Therefore, pot can have tadatmya with or identity. Tadatmya means in English we can call it identity. Identity is a better word. So it has identity with clay. The existence of pot is identical to the existence of clay. Therefore, there is an identity. We accept that because one is the karya, another is the karana. But how can you say Brahma Tadatmya is there for the world? Means Brahman is the karana. That is how Brahman is revealed, correct? Janmadhyasya yataha or yato va imani bhutani jayante. All these things are there. So he is quoting that Shruti. So you cannot ask like this. Why? Yato va ityadi shrutya jagataha brahma karyatva avagamat. So this Jagat world is ascertained as the effect of Brahman alone. Brahman is the cause. Brahman itself is revealed as only the Jagat Karanam. Right? Jagat Karanam Brahma, that is the Tatastha Lakshanam of Brahman. It is how Brahman is revealed. Unless you reveal like that, you cannot account for the world. That is why that Tatastha Lakshana is very important. Therefore, what? Nacha mrid ghatayoho iva Brahma Jagatoho salakshanya adarshana nasti karya karana bhavaha iti vachyam. Okay, another objection is what? When you say that karya and karana are there, the karya should have salakshanyam with karana, means it has to have similar characteristics. So in the case of mrid ghata, mrid is also jada, okay, you can say, and ghata also is jada. Clay is insentient, pot is also insentient. So there is a salakshanyam, similarity in characteristics. But it is not the case. Brahman, so Brahman you are saying is jnanam. How can this Brahman, which is jnanam, give rise to Jagat, which is jada, which is insentient? Means that is why even in the Mundaka, there is the different analogies are given, correct? Yatha Kesha Lomani, and all it is given. See, even if you take the body as sentient, but from the body also you are getting hair and nails, etc., which are not sentient. Okay. So there is no rule that Brahman, which is consciousness, cannot be the Karana of Jagat, which is insentient. In fact, another way also we can say this. So there is a Parinamavada, Vivartavada is there. Only in the Parinamavada, the Salakshanya argument can be put forward. Okay. We are Vivartavadis. In Vivarta, there is no need of any Salakshanya or anything. Okay. So there is no Salakshanya between snake and rope. Rope is insentient, snake is sentient. Or that Bhagavan, this Bhashyakara also talks about Akasha. Okay. So Apratyakshepi Akashaha. So the Akasha, even though it is not available for Pratyaksha, it is Sakshi Bhasya, we say. But still you can, people are superimposing color, etc. on that, or that it is a like a dome. So, in fact, he is talking about that only. So he says, Iti vacham vai vivartavada ashrayana. So we are vivartavadis. We are not parinamavada vadin like Sankhya. And further what? Gaganamapi Neelatmana vivartate hi. So here he is referencing that Adhyasa Bhashya Vakya only. Pratyakshepi Akashaha, like that Bhashyakara says. So Gaganamapi Neelatmana vivartate hi. So even the sky, the Akasha, is seen as blue, etc., even though it doesn't have any guna like that. Similarly, what? Nanu Sat Jagaditi Pratitihi na Brahma Jagataha Jagatoho Tadatmya Adhyasa Praiktaha Tatha Sati Brahma Jagaditi Pratiti Apatte. Okay, now Puruvakshi is raising another objection. What is that? Hey, we are only cognizing as Jagat is, correct? Sat Jagat. So Jagat's existence we are cognizing, but nobody is cognizing that Brahman and Jagat are having Tadatmya. That the world's existence is the same as Brahman's existence, or it is identical to Brahman's existence. That identity is not cognized by anybody. So you cannot say that world is superimposed on Brahman, etc. Because if Brahman's existence and world's existence are identical, then you should have only cognized as Jagat is Brahman. Correct? Not Jagat exists. Or Jagat, Sat Jagat, instead of Sat Jagat, it should be Brahma Jagat. That is the argument here. So that Pratiti should have been there. Okay? Brahma Jagaditi Pratiti Apatte. But what? Kintu jagataha vidyamanatva prayukta iti chet. Therefore, what do we say? Jagat is really existing. That is why you are cognizing it as Jagat exists. In fact, all these Nayayikas say that even existence is a quality of the Dravya. That is very weird, correct? Existence becomes the quality of an entity. Whether that entity itself exists or not, we don't know. Before the existence becomes the quality of that entity, but they do talk about like that. That's why I said the language also goes along with that, correct? We say existing part because they talk about a non-existing part also, as though it is something. So, so they are saying Vidyamanatva Prayukta. It is not that Tadatmya Prayukta and all that. There is no Tadatma Adhyasa or anything. It is there. Jagat is really there. That is because the Nayayikas and Dvaitins say clay also is an entity. Pot is a real entity for them. Pot has its own existence. They don't accept the pot existence is identical to the clay existence. They say that pot exists as an entity separately from clay. Okay, like that Jagat has its own existence, and that is why Jagat is cognized as existing Jagat. It has got nothing to do, even though Brahman may be the Karanam of Jagat, Brahman's existence is separate, world's existence is separate. This is what they are arguing. So, world's existence is due to world's existence itself. Okay, Jagataha Vidyamanatva Prayukta is the cognition of such Jagat is because this Jagat really exists. If you say that it is not true, why? Iti chet ma evam. It's not in that manner. Why? Brahma satta atirikta jagat satta bhavena jagataha vidyamanatva yoga. So we are saying there is no separate tattvam for jagat other than Brahman's existence. So the world's existence is identical to Brahman's existence. There is no separate existence of the world. Therefore, Jagat cannot exist by itself. Jagataha vidyamanatva ayogat is not proper, or it is untenable that the world can exist by itself. There is no existence of the world. There is only Brahman, which is existence. That is the Siddhanta. So we don't accept that. Okay. So, okay, now the Purva Pakshi comes in another angle. What is that? He says, Nanu, Brahma Satyaya eva astu vidyamanatvam jagatah. So let the world existence be Brahman's existence. Okay. World is cognized as existing only because of Brahman, which is existence. Even then what? Tatapi vidyamanutva prayukta eva jagat satiti pratitihi. But even then, what you cognize is what? World is. You are not cognizing Brahman's is world. You understand? Brahman's existence is world, like that nobody is cognizing. World is only you are cognizing. Therefore, that your cognition is only revealing the existence of the world. Okay. That way you have to accept that world exists. Because your perception or cognition is only revealing the existence of the world. It is not revealing that Brahman's existence is world. Like that, there is no revelation or there is no cognition. If you say that, we are provisionally we accept. Okay, iti chet satyam, yes. But that is agnya drishtya, agnya drishtya tathaiva. It is the ajnani's drishti. Ajnanis think world is really there. In fact, they don't see Brahman. But what is the vidvad drishti? Jnana drishti. So, vidvad drishtya tu na tatha, it is not like that. The jnana drishti is different. Okay, Marathil Maraindadu Mamadayane. The same thing. We have to bring Tirumular here. I always like that particular Tirumular verse from Tirumandiram. Okay. So the Parattai Maraitadu Parmudal Bhutam, he says, correct? This Param Brahma is covered by this all these Mahabhutas. Pancha Mahabhutas People only think the Panchamahabhutas and the Bhautika Jagat is there really. When you cognize like that, Param Brahma is covered, Parattai Maraitadu. But then once you understand only Brahman alone is there, means what happens? Parattil Maraindadu Par Mudal Bhutam. All this Panchamahabhuta and the Bhautika Jagat vanishes into Param Brahma alone. Param Brahma alone exists really. That alone is there. That is the Jnana Drishti. So, विद्वद्दृष्ट्या तु न तथा जगति वर्तमानस्य विद्यमानत्वस्य ब्रह्मधर्मत्वेन ब्रह्मतादात्म्य प्रयुक्ता एव सा प्रतीतिः इति. So what is the jnana drishti? So whatever the existence of jagat, in jagat you have vartamanasya, whatever currently it is there and all. If you say vidyamanatvam, means its existence, it is all only Brahman's existence. Brahma dharmatvena Brahma Tadatma Prayukta Eva. It is because of the Brahman's existence alone you are cognizing world's existence. Therefore, world's existence is identical to Brahman's existence, and that is how this cognition takes place. That is known to the Jnani. Jnana Drishti is like that. Vidvat Drishti is the Satya. The Ajnani Drishti is actually Brahma. It is not Prama. Understand that. Also, he is giving another analogy for that example. Yatha Nilo Gataha iti Gate Nailya Pratitihi Mrit Dharmasya Nailyasya Gate Vartamanatvenaiva Prayukta Natu Gate Kasyachit Apurva Nailyasya Satvena iti. So, even if you say blue pot is there, that blueness has to be there in the clay itself, correct? It has to be mixed with clay. It is there, or whatever color the pot is. That pot color is basically clay's color only. The color not being there in the clay, it cannot become the color of the pot, correct? Similarly, Jagat's existence is Brahman's existence alone. It cannot come from anywhere else, correct? So, not being there in Brahman, existence cannot come to the Jagat. Similarly, the color not being there in the clay, it cannot appear as pot's color. Pot's color is basically the Karya's dharma is Karana dharma only. Being in the Karana only, it is appearing in the Karya. So that is what he is pointing out here. Therefore, what nacha evam mrit ghata iti vat brahma ghata iti kutaha na pratitihi iti vachyam. Okay, now the Purva Bakshi is asking, okay, in the case of clay pot, I clearly see it is clay pot, correct? The cognition itself is of a clay pot. Mrit ghata iti pratiti is there. The cognition is that it is a clay pot. But why it is not there in the case of the world? In the case of the world, I don't cognize it as Brahma Jagat, correct? Like you cognize the pot as clay pot, there is no cognition Brahma Jagat. If you say that what we say is, if you cognize it as Brahma Jagat, then there is no Brahma. There is no possibility of any Brahma, correct? The Brahma itself or the Aropa is possible only if you don't have the full Vishesha Jnanam. Samanya Jnanam has to be there. Then only the Aropa is possible, but Vishesha Jnanam should not be there. That is the condition for any Adhyasa or Aropa. So, that is what he is explaining here. Brahmanaha Sattva Rupaha Dharmaha Sarvatra Anugataha Brahmatvam tu na. See, the existence aspect is there in each and every cognition. That itself is Brahman alone. But Brahman as Brahman should not be known. Brahman as existence alone is known in each and every cognition. If Brahman as Brahman itself is known, there is no question of having any Jagat Brahma itself. Understand that. The Aropa or the Brahma, the erroneous cognition can never take place. Similar to Rajju Sarpa, correct? If you know the Rajju as Rajju, where is the question of seeing any Sarpa there? But Rajju, Idam Amsha of Rajju has to be cognized. Something is there. As this you have to cognize the rope. Then you can see the snake on that. Snake Aropa is possible. So the Idam Amsha is Rajjus only. Okay. But then the Sarpa Amsha is separate. It is Avidya Vritti, we say. That's why even understand here, the Pratyaksha can only, the Indriyartha Sannikarsha can happen only with the Sadvastu. So even in the Rajju Sarpa case, we don't say the snake is Pratyaksha. Understand that. Snake is really Sakshi Bhashya. And the Vritti also is not Manovritti. Manovritti is only for the Idam Amsha. And that is only through Pratyaksha, Indriyartha Sannikarsha Janyam it is. Correct? It is due to the contact of the sense organ and the object. This part alone is known. That is the sense perception part. Snake is basically Avidya Vritti. It is the modification of Avidya in your mind, and it is only cognized by the witness consciousness alone. It is Sakshi Bhasya. That is the Siddhanta. So he is explaining that also now. Yatha Rajju Sarpastale Rajjoho Idam Amshaha Sarpadau Anugataha Dharmaha Rajutvam tu na. So even in the Rajju Sarpa case, the Idam Amsha of Rajju alone is available with the snake cognition, not that Rajju itself. If you see it as Rajju, then where is the question of seeing it as any snake or anything else? Okay, so Rajutvam you don't have. Only the Idam Amsha or this Amsha alone comes along with the snake. Similarly, Atayeva, okay, Tadvat, Atayeva Ayam Sarpaha iti Pratitihi Natu Rajju Sarpaha iti. So even in the case of Rajju Sarpa, everybody cognizes as this snake and not rope snake. Rope snake, if you cognize, means there is no real dhyasa there, correct? So that is what is pointed out here. And okay, yadi mrida iva brahmanaha jagad rupena parinamaha tarhi brahma jagaditi pratitihi syat natu tatha kintu rajjoho sarpa rupena eva vivartaha. So now further he is explaining that in the parinamavada only you can see that, or the wherever the parinami upadana karana is there both the karna and karya are cognized. But in the case of adhyasa, which is Brahma, it is not possible. In fact, it cannot be. So in the case of Vivarta, it is not possible. So that's why he says, Yadi, only if like clay, Brahman has become the world or modified and become the world, then you can say that Brahma Jagat, like that somebody can have a cognition, but that's not the case. Brahman has not really become the world. World is only a Brahma, it is only an appearance. It is similar to Rajju Sarpa, where the Rajju does not really become the snake, and also nobody can cognize straight away as rope snake. Everybody cognizes it as this snake only. This part of that is from the Rajju. Snake is avidya, snake is ajnana, and that is what one has to understand. Therefore, what ataha na tatha pratitihi iti bhavaha. So the ajnanis do not have a pratiti that Brahma Jagat, like that it cannot be there. Okay. Therefore, what? Tasmat sarveshu api ghatadi pratyaksheshu ghatadi anugatam sadvastu eva vishayaha natu asadvastu ghatadikamiti kritva sanmatra avagahyeva pratyaksham. So what we have established with this, that pratyaksha only reveals the sad alone. The existence alone is revealed by pratyaksha. Everything else, the nama rupa is not really existent. It is all only avidya vritti. It is all only avidya. And it is directly sakshi bhasya. So what we are establishing is pratyaksha in fact reveals only existence alone, which is advaya. Correct? Sadeva Somya idam agre asit ekameva advitiyam. Sat alone is revealed by pratyaksha. Each and every cognition only reveals that. That is why it is pratibodha viditam matam. And that's what the jnana drishti is that. Only ajnani see, they don't see the tadatmya of the namarupa jagat with Brahman or Sadvastu. Therefore, they are deluded. That is the Siddhanta. Okay. Okay, the rest of the things we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी।